Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your name, sir?
Patrick Allen Leach,
Your birthday?
8472,
How old are you, sir?
42 years old.
It's my understanding you wish to be represented by the public defenders, is that
Yes.
correct? I will appoint them to represent you. Let me fill that out.
Thank you.
I have a document called Defendant's Acknowledgement of Rights. It is a two-page document. On page 2, I see your signature. Did you read it before you signed it?
Whatever I signed, I read.
Did you go over it with your attorney?
Yes, I did.
That document says you're facing potential charges of theft of a firearm, a Class B felony. The maximum potential penalty is 10 years in the penitentiary and a $25,000 fine. You're also facing potential charges of attempted murder in the first degree while armed with a firearm, a Class A felony. The maximum potential there is 20 years to life and a $50,000 fine. Finally, you're facing potential charges of assault in the second degree domestic violence, a Class B felony. Maximum potential there is another 10 years in the penitentiary and another $25,000 fine. On the document entitled Defendant's Acknowledgement of Rights, do you have any questions about its content?
Just about that time. No.
Counsel, are you ready for a reading?
Your Honor, I believe probable cause was established over the weekend. We'll be stipulating probable cause and reserving argument on that.
Is there agreement with regard to pretrial release conditions as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
An agreement with regards to domestic violence, no contact orders, and anti-harassment order?
At this time, yes.
Anything further from the state?
Yeah, the state apparently is requesting bail be increased to $1 million.
Okay. We'll need a reading of probable cause. Go ahead, counsel.
Probable cause is from the Bellingham Police Department. Patrick Leach is currently separated from his wife, Stacy Leach. Stacy has currently been in a dating relationship with John Hildebrand. On Saturday, February 14, 2015, the defendant, Mr. Leach, waited for his cousin, Jared Leach, to leave a residence on Starry Road. Jared is the owner of a Benelli 12-gauge shotgun. As soon as Jared Leach left the residence on Starry Road, the defendant stole a shotgun from the residence, as well as a fifth of alcohol. The defendant said he stole the shotgun with the intent to go over to John Hildebrand's house and kill him, based on the affair that was going on between his wife and Mr. Hildebrand. The defendant put 2 rounds in the shotgun and had the safety off. He then drove over to Hildebrand's residence at 3422 Northwest and parked the car beside the apartment complex. Prior to arrival, the defendant said he took the battery out of his cell phone so that he couldn't be tracked. Stacy Leach happened to be at Mr. Hildebrand's apartment and saw the minivan that the defendant was driving pull into the complex. She believed that it may have been her son showing up at the apartment, so she went down to the minivan with Mr. Hildebrand to see what her son wanted. As she walked up to the driver's side, she saw that the defendant was the one in the minivan. The defendant was reaching into the center area of the van and pulling out the shotgun out of a soft case that it was in. The defendant immediately stepped out of the minivan with the shotgun halfway out of the case and got into a physical confrontation with Stacy and Mr. Hildebrand. Stacy said that the defendant pointed the gun at Hildebrand and was saying he was going to kill him. It appeared as though the defendant was having a tough time getting the shotgun completely out of the soft case. Mr. Hildebrand and Stacy Leach were able to take the defendant to the ground. Once on the ground, Stacy Leach indicated that the defendant started choking her neck to try and get her away from the situation. There was redness around the neck and upper chest of Stacy. As officers arrived, the physical altercation between all 3 parties was still occurring. Hildebrand was yelling, quote, he's got a gun, and his finger is on the trigger, quote. Stacy Leach and John Hildebrand and the defendant Dan were holding both of his arms down, preventing him from manipulating the gun. The gun was pulled away from all parties as it had been sandwiched in between them. The gun was still about halfway out of the soft case and had the safety switched off. The defendant was detained and interviewed after waiving his Miranda rights. He admitted to the theft of the shotgun and his intent to go over to the apartment to kill John Hildebrand. All that occurred in Whatcom County.
Probable cause was previously found of over the weekend, theft of a firearm, attempted murder in the first degree, and assault in the second degree. Am I correct, counsel?
Yes.
Your request on bail.
$1 million, based on the charges, actions alone, and Mr. Leach on the date indicated. I can tell the court that he was born in California, so we may have ties there, and he had one Oregon offense for a misdemeanor wildlife offense in the year 2001.
Counsel?
Yeah, we'll reserve argument on that this time.
$1 million bail will be imposed for the protection of the community, given the serious nature of the allegations. Any argument with regard to proposed release conditions? Mr. Larson?
No, Your Honor.
Agreed orders with regard to proposed release conditions will be entered. In addition, Mr. Leach, I need to go over two orders. One is called a domestic violence no contact order, and the second is called a harassment no contact order. With regard to the domestic violence no contact order, for the individuals identified by the initials SAL and JAL, you are ordered to be restrained from causing or attempting to cause physical harm, bodily injury, assault, including sexual assault, and from molesting, harassing, threatening, or stalking the protected individuals. You are restrained from going near or having any contact whatsoever, in person or through others, by phone, by mail, electronically, or any means, directly or indirectly, with the protected parties, except through your lawyer. You are prohibited from coming within 500 feet of the protected person's residences, places of employment, schools, and daycare. Page 2 of the Domestic Violence Protection Order explains to you that if you violate the order, you will be subject to additional charges. In addition, your substantial bail will likely be increased even more if you violate the terms of the Domestic Violence No Contact Order. Again, I see your signature. Did you go over that order with your attorney?
Yes, I did.
Any questions about the
No.
Domestic Violence No Contact Order? With regard to the Harassment No Contact Order for the individual identified by the initials JDH, you are ordered to refrain from directly or indirectly contacting, intimidating, threatening, or keeping that individual under surveillance, or otherwise interfering with that person, and from making any attempt to engage in any of that conduct. In addition, you're ordered to stay away from the protected person's home, school, business, and place of employment. Once again, if you violate the terms of the order, you'll be subject to additional charges, and your bail will likely be increased substantially. I see your signature on the Harassment No Contact Order. Did you go over it with your attorney?
Yes, I
Do you
did.
have any questions about that?
No, I don't.
Any questions about anything going on today, sir?
No.
Next court appearance will be February 27th, Friday, 9:30 for arraignment.
Okay.
The final matter we need to address is when the charges need to be put formally in writing. You have been told orally of the charges. My notes reflect that you were booked at 12:06 p.m. on Saturday the 14th. 3 business days with no holidays or weekends counted indicates that the state has an obligation to file written charges no later than 4:30 p.m. on Thursday the 19th. From the state's perspective, any objection to that calculation?
No, Your Honor.
From the defense counsel's
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Larson, anything further?
No, let me just go over this order real quickly,
You bet.
Mr. Leach.
Okay. And,
Your Honor.
Thank you. That'll be the order of the court. Madam Clerk, next case, please.